I'm Josh Lambert, a product manager here at GitLab, and today I'd like to talk about a new tool that we have available for product managers and our engineering teams to better understand the perceived performance of the workflows that they are building. So this is the performance that end users experience as they interact with GitLab.com. We have added documentation to the product manager handbook pages. You can find a link off of the responsibility section of the role page. And this is underneath the part that establishes that PMs are responsible for the cost profile and user experience. And here are some links to various tools to help PMs understand that. And we are adding to them, of course, and we have just added the page load performance tool here. So this links off to the product processes documentation page and provides more information. So we are utilizing SiteSpeed, which is a performance testing framework, which provides the core metrics and testing. And we take those and we display them in Grafana. We have a stage dashboard dedicated for each stage. And you can go through and take a look at this, for example. You can see we have quite a lot of pages already instrumented. I think we're up over 70, for example, across all of the stages. And you can turn off some of the additional flags here if you'd like to. This can help you troubleshoot, and it can get a better sense of what this looks like. Personally, some of the deploys can be handy so you can understand in case there is a particular dip or other change that you're interested in, you can see what that was related to. The other quick thing here is that each of these also references the page that is being tested here, for example. So if I click here, I can see the exact URL that's being tested. And so that's also available to make sure we understand, what exactly we're testing here, and you can go verify that. But as you can see here, we have a wide variety of one for all of our stages. So getting back to how you add and maintain this, the first step is you want to add or update the URLs that are being tested. This is fairly easy. There is a simple list here of URLs, and this is what SiteSpeed goes out and tests. The key here is you want to have the URL and then an alias, so it's easier to find in SiteSpeed and reference. So you can see here, for example, we're testing things like source code MR list for the list of MRs. Generally, the convention is, as noted here, group, feature, and detail. It has to be one word. The other detail here is that we have authenticated and unauthenticated options. Unauthenticated is the easiest. If you need to have a page that requires authentication, note that this authenticated account doesn't have any special permissions. It is just logged in. We don't have an account right now for testing that has, permissions to, for example, maintain or access on certain groups. That's pretty easy. You can go ahead and submit a merge request. We have a sample one here, which is linked off to, and you can take a look at it. This was done by Marcus, and you can see, again, it's pretty straightforward. You can edit some URLs, you can change, you can edit some aliases, and overall, it's pretty easy to maintain. Once you have that done, SiteSpeed will go ahead and start testing it. That takes about 8 to 10 hours to kind of get through its testing list, because we have a lot of URLs we're testing. So don't be surprised if you don't see the results immediately in Grafana. But once you have that added to the testing list, you then now need to go ahead and add it to the Grafana page. Grafana is what we use to make maintaining these dashboards easy, and we can edit them in bulk if you want to change, for example, the metrics that we display. Each stage does have its own JSON file, and so you can take a look, for example, at the create page if you want to see how it's laid out. Overall, most of the stuff you don't need to worry about, but down here, essentially, it is a row for each group, and then there is some JSON here, and then you can see what we call a function, product comment page detail. And we simply pass in some pretty simple parameters: the chart title, the alias, which you set up before in the SiteSpeed URL, and then, of course, the URL itself. All you have to do is just do this, make sure you get the comma at the end correct, and you'll be all set. So it's overall pretty easy. If you have to add a new group, again, just cut and paste this whole section here, and then just make sure you increment the Y here from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and that way it keeps going down the page. So overall, very straightforward, very easy. And we have a sample merge request here, which you can see that updates this. So in this case, we're adding a couple new URLs. We're tweaking some of the URLs that we're testing, and this corresponds to the last MR that we showed as well. So overall, very easy, very straightforward. And if we go over to the create page here, we should now see these under the knowledge group. So let's keep heading down. And again, we have a lot of items being tested here. So you can see here we have wiki history, wiki pages, wiki ASCII doc, and the new charts that are now available. It just might take a second for these to load, again, because we have so many dashboards. So that's great. You can see here this was merged yesterday, and you can see we already have some of these being updated. In this case, you can see that there's not a lot of content up until just now. So that's what it'll look like, and you can see it's accessible pretty quickly. Again, the site speed changes take about 8 to 10 hours, but the Grafana, as soon as it's merged, will take effect immediately. If you have any questions, please come find me or others, and we can help you get started as well. Thank you so much.